Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just 91 days away from its official release by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's truly exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film is, of course, going to be a revelation film full of different pieces of twists and turns, as well as huge surprises that will lead to saga-wide implications within the Skywalker saga. Now, a lot of this all has to do with Palpatine and exactly how he comes into the picture in The Rise of Skywalker that is said to have a massive effect on Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, shot descriptions consisting of a sequence where it's explained that Palpatine is talking to Kylo Ren and Rey, where he is said to start talking about his plans with his new Sith Empire. It's described that Palpatine is revealing to Rey and Kylo Ren that these Imperial Star Destroyers have been hidden away in the unknown regions since before the second Death Star's destruction, and that since he arrived in the unknown regions, he began to modify his Imperial Star Destroyers. It said that Palpatine has a plan to obtain a specific route, a hyperspace route to a star system in the unknown regions that Luke Skywalker was studying for decades, that is said to be an entire world, if not an entire star system, with the potential to become new Jedi. It said that Palpatine plans to find this world full of these individuals and/or star system and wants to wipe it out clean before any other potential threats would be able to take on his new order. It's described that Palpatine begins to reason with Kylo and Rey about them ruling by his side of his new Rule of 3 plan, and even mentions breaking the Rule of 2 by the late Sith Lord Darth Bane. Palpatine goes on to explain that he also has other shipyards in the Outer Rim and Mid-Rim, full of Star Destroyers hidden on secret worlds, that are waiting to be modified, and plans to develop a clone army of his own in the future. So, let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film is going to be primarily focused on Palpatine, his survival, as well as his plans for his new Sith Empire and everything related to that. And I think that's really going to be the strong point of this movie. It really seems like Palpatine truly is the driving force for the hype of Episode 9 without a doubt, and that's one of the big reasons as to why a lot of people are very curious about this movie. So, with that being said, I want to go over Palpatine's new Sith Empire. Now, he has plans in place to develop a new clone army, bringing us back to the prequel trilogy era where we had clones. Now, what's exciting about this, though, is that we do know that Palpatine is really, pretty much, from what it seems, attached to the past, right? He wants to do a lot of things that were there in the past over in the prequel trilogy, but never really spanned out completely, and that's exactly what he wants to do. So each and every one of his Star Destroyers right now have super weapons called the actual Annihilators. Now, these Annihilators are actually said to be based off of the World Devastators from Star Wars Legends. You guys may recall that they are able to wipe out the surface of a world. Same exact thing applies here. So I want to go over this hyperspace route that leads to a star system or a single planet over in the unknown regions that is said to hold an entire, species of potential Jedi that could really pose as a threat against Palpatine at a certain point in time in the future, and that Luke has actually been looking for this hyperspace route for decades. Now, Palpatine is aware of this location in the unknown regions and how he wants to find everything related to this world and/or star system that could really become an entire new generation of Jedi. Now, this could very well be a nice little tease of what's to come, either for, Rey's New Order or future Star Wars films based after Episode 9 that isn't necessarily connected to the Skywalker saga, but at the same exact time, we do know that Episode 9 is trying to really tell us the bigger story of Palpatine, and the one thing that really does stand out to me a lot is how he's changing up the Rule of 2 to the Rule of 3, where he now wants the negative and the positive of the Force, this dyad, if you will, that they call it, between both Rey and Kylo Ren. Palpatine wants them to rule by his side in order to lead the new Sith Empire to take on not just the First Order and the Resistance, but to eventually actually take over the entire galaxy itself, including the unknown regions, and destroying that world full of potential Jedi. And that to me sounds like a very interesting plan by Palpatine and his new Sith Empire and what he's trying to do. You can see that J.J. Abrams really wanted to explore the unknown regions because there's so much potential over there. You know, there's so much material that hasn't been explored on the big screen that we are now going to be able to see, visually speaking, of course, in a live-action Star Wars film for the very first time. And I think that's a very exciting point for Episode 9 that's going to be a big part of the actual story. So, with that being said, I will say that I cannot wait to see what Palpatine is going to actually look like on the big screen by Ian McDiarmid. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to morning.